Hey 4-H members, this is Kevin Allen. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Natural Resource Ecology and Management at Oklahoma State University, and I'm also responsible for youth programming and natural resources. You know, this time of year is one of my favorite. It's springtime, and that means one thing for me. It's getting out in the woods and chasing turkeys. Unfortunately, this time, you know, we got some challenges going on, and so now I just get to mess around with all my calls and try and perfect those a little bit. What I want to do today is talk about the different types of turkey calls that you may want to use if you're interested in chasing those elusive big gobblers. The first type that we want to talk about are called our friction calls. And there's three types here that I really want to talk about. One is the push button call, the box call, and the slate or the pot call. The first call we want to talk about is the push button call. This is a very beginner-friendly turkey call, but lots of seasoned veterans who chase the birds love this call also. It's real simple to use. It's just use one finger to push along that rod. As you can see inside there's a piece of chalk, and that friction of the piece of wood going across the chalk is what gives us that sound. The next type of friction call that I want to talk to you about is the box call. A lot of you have probably seen these. Another friendly, easy to use call. Lots of beginners and intermediates like this call, as well as more advanced callers. Most turkey hunters will tell you they like this because they think it carries sound a lot farther. And again, you'll find that with turkey calls, like anything else, people have their favorites and what they like and what they don't like, what they want to use and don't use. So made out of wood mostly, different types of wood. It could be oak or cedar, just multiple different types of wood. This one uses chalk on it, and just by scraping the paddle across the sides creates different sounds. So you can get different sounds. Like the push button call, if it's all wood, it gets moist, and again, the chalk doesn't work very well. So many manufacturers are making waterproof box calls now. So when you're out chasing the birds and you get a little bit of moisture, your call is still going to work. So that's the box call. Next one we want to talk about is the slate or the pot call, or slate calls or pot calls. It's a wooden box with a piece of slate inside. Many manufacturers will put glass inside there or ceramic to provide different calls, and that friction is caused by your striker. Now, strikers come in different woods and different tips to get you different types of sounds. The big thing you want to do when you're learning to use the slate call is not to grasp it in your hand like that, but to leave as much open as you can in the back, because this is where the sound comes from. And then that striker going across the slate can create different sounds. You'll notice if I put my hand around here, you probably get a different sound and it's not as clear. But again, you can use different strikers, so you might notice some different sounds from the different strikers that I use. Very versatile call. Lots of turkey callers really like that. The disadvantage of both of these types of calls is you have to use both hands to use them, where the box call or the push button call has an advantage there. So the best thing I can tell you is to find a call that you want to try out and practice with them. You have to do your best to sound like a turkey in the woods. Otherwise, you can scare those gobblers away, and that can be even as frustrating. But for me, I just love being out in the woods and enjoying my time in nature. The next type of call we're going to talk about is the diaphragm call, and I'll be right back with you to talk about those. Told you we'd come back and talk about the diaphragm call or the mouth call. This is a very basic one, and a diaphragm call is made by stretching a piece of latex across a frame, and then they put plastic over it and it holds it tight. And then this fits in your mouth with the horseshoe part facing forward. And you put this in your mouth, and by gently blowing across this, and this takes some practice, you're able to make different sounds. Probably the hardest call to learn to use, but once you learn how to master this call, it's one of the most versatile ones that you can have out in the turkey woods. The reason for that is you don't have to use your hands, and it's waterproof because it's in your mouth. The other thing is, if you've never used one of these before, when you first start using them, you put them in your mouth and you might get a little bit of a gag reflex or produce a lot of saliva, and that's normal. It just takes you a while because this is not something normally that you're going to have in your mouth. But I would suggest if you go with a turkey call, you get a double reed, and if you can see, it's just straight across here. There's all different types of cuts that you can put in these reeds to get all different types of sounds. I have some examples here that we'll show you a little bit later on. But you put this in your mouth, up in the roof of your mouth. And again, as you put your tongue against the reed and blow a little bit across there, you'll start to make sounds. So as you can see, there's all different types of cuts that they can put in the latex of the mouth call, and they all produce different sounds. Again, I suggest beginning with a single or a double reed, which is straight across, easiest to learn to use. Each call is a little bit different of which part goes to the roof of your mouth. Some of them might say to put the label. Some of them you'll notice a little bump on the back, so you want to make sure that you're looking at those recommendations from the manufacturer. For those 4H members that have turkey calls at home, post a picture of you or a video of you doing your turkey calls. We'd love to see what you've got going on. We know some of you would love to do that and you don't have a call at home, but please don't go to the store at this point in time. We'll have plenty of time in the future to add more calls and more videos, but please be safe and look forward to seeing your turkey calls. Have a good day.